Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like it's called Pysanky. Pysanky. And yeah, and what else? And I can see the pattern, like they look so beautiful and unique in a way.
Yes.
But like, do these patterns mean anything? Like we
Absolutely.
can't. Yeah.
So Ukraine's broken up into lots of different regions. So there's the patterns will be regional. In a lot of different ways. So you've got some eggs like this, which are a very different styling. So they are, it's called a drop and pull style. So the wax is dropped and then pulled. All of these are real eggs that have been painted. So they're not fake, they're not wooden, they're real eggs.
Real eggs.
And so others will have, so an egg like this one, a pysanka like this one, will have different patterns on it that have different symbolic meanings.
I see.
And then some of them, are much more like lines, a normal classic cross. Like a crucifix. But then other eggs will be slightly less traditional, so they'll have like a picture on it. So they're more picture eggs as opposed to the very intricate detailing and stylings of the intricate, very symmetrical kind of pysankas. So it goes through this process here of how the pysanka is made.
Yep.
So we use these types of stylists. Or things like other stylists like this, and you have an open flame and some wax. So you take the wax, you pop it on, and then you heat the stylus there with on the open flame. And we take the white egg, and essentially rule of thumb is anything that you place the wax on, it'll hold that color. So we draw the basic pattern here on the white egg, and then we pop it into the yellow dye. And then once we dry that yellow dye, we then color in. So you can see here the diamonds have been colored in with the wax here, and that's going to be then yellow.
Yeah, yellow. Yeah.
And then we draw on the green bit and color in the green. The green with wax as well to hold on that green color. Likewise, we then pop it into the orange, and so the orange pattern is drawn on with wax. So that would be the little lines there before moving into the red. So it just progressively goes from color to color until, of course, we get to our black, which is very traditional background color.
Oh, okay.
And then so this is the final egg with all the wax still on it, and then from that point, the wax is then having to be very gently taken off. So it gets with the heat of the Bunsen burner or the candle and a clean cloth. You then have to melt all the wax off and clean it off to reveal the final design.
Oh, I see.
And then from that point, we varnish the eggs, and we also then hollow them out. So put a pinprick on either side and then get rid of the wax. So all of these eggs here are just the egg shell. So they're very light.
Oh yeah, I see. So there's no like fillings inside.
No fillings inside. So I mean, some people will leave the filling inside, and that's okay. Because over time the egg yolk will solidify. But traditionally, yes, they should be hollowed. But it's always hard because when some of these designs will take up to about 8 or 9 hours to do.
Yeah, I can reckon it's really hard to do all these details, and I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, like.
So when you're doing that and you put 8 hours of work in, and then blowing out the egg, sometimes they crack. That happens, and it's not fun. But
and you have to redraw new eggs from scratch from the beginning.
Yes, that's right. So this is a very traditional, very simple design that the children learn along the way. So this is one of the very first designs that I was taught, and then you progress up and you become much more proficient at what you're doing. So these are all done by my mum. Some of these are almost 45 years old. Some of these pysanky. Some of them have just been done this year. So this whole group of eggs we did just this last year, my mum and I. But yeah, some of them are very traditional. Some of them are not quite so traditional. So some of them are more picture eggs. So that was one of my designs that I just free-handed created that. Whereas other eggs are very intricate and very specifically very detailed.
Yeah, look at these details. Wow.
Yeah.
Just like those doors, and they look so symmetrical. Like even just one door, you couldn't put the position very well.
And that's the aim is to make it as symmetrical as possible from all sides. So
Yeah,
you
this
can
looks-
turn it,
Wow.
and it is just as symmetrical on either side. This is one of my mum's ones. She is most certainly a very proficient pysanka maker.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is just so amazing. And like you do all these details just by using your hand, right? There's no.
It's all hand drawn and just normal eye. So this is all lined by hand. There's no machine. There are,
Yeah, I'm wondering, there must be a machine to be that accurate.
There are some machines, so there are definitely in Ukraine and parts of Canada, they will sell machines that you can actually put the egg in and then line it up, and so it will do it. Sometimes too, of course, and there are we don't have them necessarily. Most of these are done with just this old traditional method. But there are, of course, also electric designers. So these would be electric, and so with an electric one, you can have an even temperature of wax and an even kind of flow.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah.
Whereas these, of course, are very difficult because when you're putting in, it's going to depend on how much wax you put in, how much heat you get, how thick the line is. There's a lot of variables.
I see.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but it's all very.
And
Here she is. Here's the.
Oh, you must. So you're.
This is
She's
my
your.
mum.
Wow,
Yeah,
you
this
two.
is the official Pysanka lady. It's known as a YouTube.
Oh,
Oh, hey, and you two managed to just draw everything by using your hand with no machine and just with your normal eyes.
that's with my normal
Normal
eyes.
eyes.
I'm the one with the straight.
Yes, she's got the straight
I
line.
do the straight lines. I've got a good eye for that. She does the more decorative patterns.
Patterns. Well, I mean, both are very artistic and brilliant, but I'm just wondering how hard it can be. Like, I mean, even for like normal people like us, like we draw a straight line, like we draw a line and we need a ruler and we draw it on plain paper. But if it's like a curve thing, it's like, it's an egg, it's not plain, it's like you draw a straight line on a curve.
I take a pen.
Wow.
I take a pencil and I mark. I just look at my middle, and I will, as I've done here, I'll sort of mark a middle there, and I'll go down and I'll mark that middle there.
You already got that one here.
Yeah, I know, but then I just mark it loosely, and then I look at it from all angles. I go, does that look straight that way? Does it look straight this way? And I fiddle around, the lighter that I do, and then after I've done the basic little outlines, then I will do it with the wax.
Because as soon as you put the wax on, that's permanent.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I see.
So I do have some guidelines. I measure things out. I make sure that it's looking even, so that I've got a nice even distribution there, so that all of those little triangles are all even and things like that.
You look at something like this, and every square, every triangle is the same, and that's from lots of planning and making sure that you have the ability to have it straight.
Wow.
Each one of those quarters
How hard it is
each
to
one of
draw
those
an egg,
quarters
like-
is one of these quarters, you see.
Yes,
and so I would have added some extra lines in here and gone across there like that. But this is it. I've got a reasonably good eye, so I can see that, or I'll use a finger to measure or something like that, and I'll do it evenly all the way around.
Yeah, I can see all the dotted lines you draw. And,
Yes.
yeah, wow.
And so I have a couple of little guidelines, and then I join the dots.
But as you said, for a lot of people, just drawing on a straight piece of paper with a ruler is hard.
Even that. I mean,
Most people, I must admit, most people who I've taught can't get a straight line like that. And so other people...
She has a knack.
Other people
Yep.
will cheat. They'll use an elastic band. They'll put an elastic band around there, and they'll mark the elastic band where they think is even, and then they'll mark around with the elastic band. Or they'll, like a little egg cup, they'll pop the egg in the egg cup and they'll do the circle around on the egg cup. Use it like something they can trace from.
I see. Yeah.
Things like that, if they can't do it themselves.
But you don't need that.
I don't know.
Oh God, too brilliant.
Hence why these eggs are as beautiful as they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, you girls are amazing. I mean, just so incredible.
Doing something like this is harder, or something like these are harder simply because they aren't geometric, because they aren't even. you have to really make sure that they are quite even, and that is hard.
Exactly,
So, yeah,
like-
yeah.
You just-
And like that outline going around like this each time, each one of these outlines, you've got to measure it up. See, I would have measured along here and along here. So I've got 4 of those. They are even. You can see them from that end. And then I would be going, okay, I'm going to draw here. I'd be doing each little tiny bit by bit. Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, wow.
Thank you.
Thumbs up to you. Wow, what can I say? Slava Ukraini.
Heroyam Slava.